I believe that WAVE-2 for small cap stocks is coming in the month of August. And here at Waves Capital, we are more than ready to ride it. In this video, I want to talk about the Russell2000 small cap index. In my opinion, this is the purest way to play the small cap rotation. I want to talk about how high I believe the IWM can climb in the month of August, moving into the fall and winter months, and how you can capitalize and how you can profit if you don't have any stocks or calls yet and want to get in on this trend. Speaking of the trend at hand, the macro shift we're seeing, this cyclical shift from mega caps, the Mag 7, Microsoft, which just tanked in after hours following their earnings report, NVDA, which fell, as you can see, 7% today over Waves Capital. We made so much money off of our NVIDIA puts over the past couple of weeks. Apple, which is currently my favorite put play in the market as they announce earnings on Thursday. This is all just to reinforce the idea that capital is flowing from these overextended, historically overvalued mega caps into the historically undervalued small to mid cap segment of the markets. We have been calling for this for months, and it is so validating to see it finally coming to fruition. I just want to read this first line of the newsletter that I sent out this morning. It's been an amazing week, amazing month here at Waves Capital for all the members of the newsletter and portfolio group. I'll just say it's the first link in the description of the video if you want to join, if you want to join the winning team. And if you are members, please drop a comment below sharing your experience, you guys. It helps a lot. It really means a lot to me. And for any potential members, new members of the team, it's really important. So it would mean a lot if you did that. If you do want to sign up, if you want to know exactly how we made such life-changing gains over Waves Capital, how I've been trading my personal portfolio over the past month. In the month of July, we're up, I think, 5 to 6x in the overall portfolio. Then again, it's the first link in the description of this video. Okay? Just make that clear. More on that later. But it's been quite a while since I've felt this validated as a market analyst and an options trader. You guys, we called this perfectly. Just scrolling down here, we established our macro thesis. This is a couple of weeks ago. I've been making videos. You can see with NVIDIA, called the bubble pop about a month ago, loaded up on puts. NVIDIA to 105. We saw exactly that today. And again, our NVIDIA, I believe our NVIDIA put position, excuse me, we probably closed it out at a total of like 10 to 12x on our overall position. I did swap around options, so I'm not exactly sure, but it was in the realm of 10 to 12x on that position. So that's what happens when you call at the top appropriately. And again, that's puts. We also made money trading call options. Okay, the diamonds in the rough, like the IWM, like Philip Morris, like our smoke show, been crushing it for us. So it's been a tricky market to trade, and that's why I'm even more proud of the team over Waves Capital. Established our macro thesis, positioned ourselves with the appropriate call options and put options, and now we reap the fruits of our labor. It's been a tricky market to trade, but we've traded these past couple of weeks damn near perfectly. So congrats to all the members of Waves Capital. Cheers to a game-changing month, and let's lock in more of these profits, which we did today. And for full transparency, I did sell all NVIDIA puts today, which is probably good because NVIDIA is actually up in after hours a little bit and following AMD's successful earnings report. Also, IWM up in after hours as well, so that's amazing to see. Apple down 0.75% in after hours, which I also love to see because I got plenty of Apple puts on deck right now as well. So once again, before we jump into the IWM on the charts, before we talk upside price targets and maybe which call options you should be establishing if you agree with the sentiment here, first link in the description if you want to know how I'm trading my personal portfolio on a daily basis. It's only $15 a month. Give it a shot. If you don't like it, you can always just unsubscribe. But we have been on such a hot streak, and I'm so excited for what the future has in store for Waves Capital. So cheers to existing members. Go eat some steak and sushi, whatever your favorite meal is. Treat your family to a lovely meal. And if you want more money for food, for lovely meals, for you and your loved ones, just give it a shot, you guys. Join the team, okay? So that said, the IWM is shaping up so beautifully right now. So what I'm going to do is we're going to zoom in a little bit. We're going to we'll go 1 hour, okay? 1 hour on the charts. I want to talk about the short-term bull flag formation that we're seeing pan out, where I think that'll take us over the next, 5 to 7 days from the time I'm recording this video, which is July 30th. And then we'll zoom out, go to daily candles, and we'll get a little more macro. And I want to talk about why I believe we could see new all-time highs in the Russell 2000 within the next 3 to 4 weeks, within the month. By September, I think it's possible that the IWM does at least retest its prior all-time high at 245 and potentially move beyond that. But for now, the IWM, the Russell 2K, is printing a beautiful, beautiful bull flag. Even when you look, and again, we're up in after hours as names like Microsoft are down 6%. Microsoft is what, a $3.2 trillion company now? Maybe it's a little less than that probably. Why can't I find it? Okay, market cap $3.14 trillion company. That's an insane move for a $3 trillion company, you guys. Like, that's tens and tens of billions of dollars, $100 billion plus. That has just been eviscerated in market cap. And all of that capital is going to flow into names like the Russell 2K, Russell 2000. You can see even in after hours trading, we are up while the rest of the market is down. The QQQ, as we just looked at, again, it's not just Microsoft. It's the QQQ down 0.5%, over 0.5% in after hours trading. Again, Apple looking bad. I'm so pumped about that. See what those can do tomorrow. But the Russell is up. And technically, we are looking so strong on top of this fundamental momentum. Bull flag formations, bull flag patterns are even more likely to successfully resolve themselves to the upside, as its name implies, a bull flag. It's way more likely to resolve itself to the upside in the case that there is already a fundamental catalyst at hand, okay? We had interest rate cuts on the horizon. Interest rate cuts signaled. We have the FOMC meeting on Thursday. If this big tech sell-off wasn't enough to get capital into the mix, I think that by August 1st, the Russell 2000 breaks out of this beautiful, beautiful bull flag pattern, which began on July 10th, parabolic move up, followed by a capitulation period. This is a perfect symmetrical triangle pattern. Symmetrical triangles typically resolve themselves the far majority of the time in the direction of the overall trend. That's the beauty of the bull flag. Bull flag, you get that immediate sense of interest. You get a little bit of slowdown with, volume holding strong. And I think that a breakout to the upside, especially after seeing how Microsoft's earnings are playing out, is incredibly, incredibly likely. Okay? So I'm really excited to see what happens for the Russell. If we do break out of this bull flag, I do think that we have pretty much, like, I'm talking tomorrow, potentially, if you guys are watching this as soon as I post it, pretty much, or even on July 31st. Let me know in the comments below how all of this panned out if you are watching this at a later date. But if we break out, I think the Russ 2K has a very, very clean shot up to the line of resistance on the shorter term ascending channel. You can see this green, this green line right here. It's a clear line of resistance on the shorter term channel. If that's the case, then, by August 1st, we would climb 2.7 to 2.8%, depending on when this trend line is tested. But ultimately, I think that we can climb up to, I think with the WAVE-2 for the Russ 2K in the weeks ahead can take us up once again to the Russell's previous all-time high of $245 and maybe even beyond if all goes correctly. And the reason for that is because when we zoom out here, we're going to go to daily candles now. This might start to look a little bit congested, but it's going to make sense. Hopefully, as I zoom out, I'll try to make it make sense. Okay? So as we zoom out here, I want to go back to over here, because we are seeing a very similar setup to what's happening now, okay? Right? You get a big move up. This was also in July. That's funny. This was in July of 2022, so almost exactly 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago. We did see a massive move up. And in the span of 33 days, 33 days, the Russell 2000 climbed just over 21%. We'll say about 21%, okay? If we mirror that to what's happening now. And right now, in my opinion, this is significantly more bullish with so much more upside potential because of the fact that capital is flowing out of mega caps. And because there's so much more capital in mega caps and small caps, even if a small fraction of that exited capital that's looking for a new home finds that home in small caps, it doesn't take much. You're talking like fractions of what it takes to appreciate the value of a name like Microsoft and Apple, to appreciate the entire Russell 2000, okay? It only has $73 billion in assets under management. That's a drop in the bucket. Microsoft lost more than that in after hours today, okay? Just to put things into perspective. So I keep clicking on this on accident. I want to move up here because I really like. I just whipped this up on Midjourney this morning. It was perfect. I do those in the newsletters. And again, if you guys want these trade alert newsletters every morning, this is my daily trade alert. I send out flash trades before this, talking about all my real-time trades. But again, if you guys want access to these daily newsletters, if you want one of these bad boys in your inbox, and I spend all my time every single day, every morning writing for you guys, then again, it's the first link in the description of the video. What are you waiting for? Join the winning team. Okay? But the Russell 2000, I think, does... If what happens back here, if what we just looked at just happens, and I think it could be much greater because we are seeing a macro reversal. We broke a very significant line of resistance, this line of long-term resistance in place since December of 23, printing a short-term bull flag. I mean, everything is setting up beautifully for the Russell 2000. If even that move is mirrored, again, 20% in the span of 33 days would take us up exactly to that prior high of the Russell 2000 from back in November of 2021. And keep in mind, the S&P 500, I'll just go to the SPY real quick. You can see that the S&P 500, which is, I mean, I haven't even looked at this chart in a day or two, perfectly following my targets. The S&P 500 is so far beyond its previous all-time high. The previous all-time high for the S&P was back here, which we crossed in January of this year. So again, the catch-up, the game of catch-up between small caps and large caps, the parity that has been created between these two, the moat is finally being crossed, if you want to stick with that analogy, I guess. The drawbridge is here. We'll go with that. The big tech, the mega cap castle is being sieged, and small caps are about to take over. Okay, and if it's not evident already, again, if you guys don't follow this, that's okay. But know that my money is where my mouth is. And over at Waves Capital, once again, we've had a freaking amazing month. And I'm so stoked for what the month of August has in store for us. My first target for the IWM is honestly going to be 233. Like, that's where I may consider taking some profits, maybe wait for a very short-term pullback, a very brief pullback prior to establishing a longer-term call position, because I do think that we do break to new all-time highs this year. And I'll talk about where I think we'd go in the fall-winter months after this, but where I will establish some profits, where I will lock in some profits in the shorter term, because I think this could happen quick. Once Wave 2 happens, it happens fast. Just keep that in mind, you guys. I do think that we will make our way up to 233 from current levels where we stand now. That is about 4.7% up from where we stand now at 222.50. That is just because that has acted as a historical line of a historical ceiling, a historical line of resistance in the past. I think we will see a bit of resistance there, maybe get a short-term pullback prior to getting the remainder of the rally up to, the Russell's previous all-time high, once again, of 245 and beyond. Ultimately, by 2025, I think that the Russell 2000, especially if we get if we get a signal of rate cuts on Thursday, the closure of the FOMC meeting, which is August 1st, July 31st, I'm sorry, that would, I do think that by the end of the year, the Russell 2000 can climb as much as 25% from current levels in order to test this long-term line of resistance. You can see that this has been in place since all the way back in 2016. It's not an absolute line of resistance, but again, I've been looking at charts for a decade. That's my job. It's literally what I do every day. And at this point, although trend lines look like stick figures, they hold so much weight. And the more you trade, the more you stare at charts all day, the more you realize that. Okay, so I think that the Russell 2000 by the new year, we'll say Christmas. I do think that we can break above 280. We can climb 25% from current levels. And, just looking at the chart, that looks about right. You can see over here that in October of 2020, well, from October of 2022, we'll go right there. That's January. Where's this? We'll say October of 2020 to Christmas of 2020. The Russell 2000 climbed 40%. Okay, 42%. I don't see it out of the realm of possibility at all that we do the same thing. Again, this would be even less than that. Let's just go from here. Yeah, it's about 40% too. So it's all, again, history doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. And right now, everything is just shaping up so perfectly. So just to give you guys something to walk away with, I will say that personally, the Russell 2000 position that I have on hand right now is an IWM 920 September 20th call options contract at a strike price of $240, okay? And over time, I will alter that position. I'll take some profits. I'll swap it around. I'll push back the expiration date But again, looking to take a little bit of profits off the table at about 233. Ultimately, though, I think that by September 1st, it's entirely possible that Wave 2 takes us to 244, maybe even higher if everything goes accordingly once again. And that's the video, you guys. Please let me know what you think about this. If you think that this is on par, if you think this is on point, or if you disagree. But as always, let me know why. Let me know your rationale. I'd love to know how you guys are thinking and how your minds are working. It's good to bounce ideas off each other. That's how you progress as a trader. So let me know what you think. I look forward to talking to you in the comments below. If you're a part of Waves Capital, again, please share your experience because the month of July 2024, one for the history books, you guys. One that is a life changer. It's a game changer, okay? So excited for what's ahead. If you want to join the team, if you want to know how I'm trading every single morning, every day, it's the first link in the description of the video. Welcome to the winning team if you do. And if not, once again, appreciate you watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Until then, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.